the replay as well, I guess, because this replay is going to be available in the client. And this is one of the first times I've actually been on a tournament ticket. But hey, everybody, welcome back to the AMD2PL Premier League regional qualifier finals. This is one of our two semifinals for Group A. It's between Gameware and InsidiousIdol, and we are at a tied set, a game apiece. The winner of this is going to advance into the main event to face off against all of the invited teams in our upcoming weeks of action. I am Baseskip, and I am very much excited to be here bringing you guys this game. It's getting a touch late, and I think we're running a little bit later on time than some of us expected to be, but this is going to be good Dota all the same, and I always love casting. This is my favorite way to watch Dota. It's my favorite way to be here hanging out with you guys, so definitely not a bad way to spend my Friday night. With all that aside, InsidiousIdol are going to be over on the Radiant side. Gameware are going to be on the Dire, and yeah, that's it so far. We're going to have Batrider as the first ban from InsidiousIdol, Mag, and Lone Druid from Gameware. And InsidiousIdol have definitely been mixing up the bans a bit, but looks like it is serious faces from here on out. They want this game, and they're going to choose to ban out Nyx. His very, very similarly sounding counterpart is going to be picked up here, and Weaver and Bane are going to be taken immediately by InsidiousIdol. And I think the game plan here is, man, we hate Nyx, let's make a tri-lane that really, really hates Nyx. And if there was ever a tri-lane that does that exceptionally well, it's going to be a Weaver-centric tri-lane with a Bane. If an early point in Feeble would be the biggest pain in the ass for Lifestealer that you've ever seen, and Queen of Pain going to be the response here from Gameware, not going to want to give that back to InsidiousIdol, and just a hero that's overall very, very popular in this scene. So Gameware sort of aiming for their core heroes at the moment. Idol a little bit better as far as the supports are concerned, and again, made the observation in the last couple of games that Idol have very heavily prioritized picking up those supports early and trying to leave the other team with some of the weaker ones. But Gameware not going to be having that happen this game. They're going to choose to pick themselves up a Keeper of the Light. So they get a nice mixed bag so far, and kind of nice to pick what the other team is picked as well. So for example, if you pick your offlaner and your carry and your support, and the enemy team has already picked a support and a carry and a mid, and they're going to ban all of the mids. But in this situation, for example, both teams are looking for an offlaner. They're looking for that, well, offlaner slash the 3 position, the secondary farmer, the non-mid farmer, the solo, whatever it is. If it's your jungle, it's your jungle. But both teams are looking for it, and that means that both teams are more hesitant in terms of their bans, unless, of course, they are the team with the first pick, which in this case is Gameware. So InsidiousIdol, they're going to go for a Nature's Prophet here, getting some nice mobility going on, some nice split push between the Weaver and the Prophet, and definitely a lot of tools right now to try and deal with the Keeper of the Light. They've got a Weaver, they've got a Nature's Prophet, both of whom are quite comfortable in getting behind the tower, getting in amongst the action, and just being able to pick off the Coddle, so long as the rest of his team isn't waiting there to jump you. So I like the pickup so far from Insidious. Nature's Prophet can have his issues against Coddle as far as pushing is concerned, but I think from what we've seen of InsidiousIdol's style, I don't think it's going to be a very passive Prophet, to make a bit of a prediction there. So Lena's going to be the ban from Gameware, just removing that follow-up. I'm not 100% sure what we're going to be seeing with this ban. It could be a farmier Bane as well. It could be a Farmin, Blink Dagger, and Grippin Bane, but it's not really that common these days to see it. And giving Bane that level of farm, you don't get as much out of it as you do giving it to someone like Mag or Quap or Puck or anything like that. So I think we're probably just going to be seeing a support Bane here. InsidiousIdol are going to choose to ban at Shadow Demons. There's still some support bans being bandied about right now, since both teams are looking for at the very least, one more support, and then looking to finish rounding out their lineups. InsidiousIdol still haven't really taken their lineup in any concrete direction just yet. Weaver can still be an offlaner. Nature's Prophet can be an offlane slash jungle. They can both potentially be mids, though not necessarily great against the Queen of Pain. So it looks like Gameware are thinking that InsidiousIdol are actually still looking for a mid. They're going to choose to ban out the Puck here, and the Templar Assassin as well. So just trying to secure themselves a nice, easy sort of mid matchup. And again, this is a disparity between one team having their mid and the other team doesn't, which means that Gameware can really set this up for themselves. Idol are going to go after the offlaners, choosing to remove Clockwork And Dark's here, and Gameware. We'll see what they're going to be able to get their hands on here. Probably just their next support, and then maybe something as a bit of a surprise, the second to last pick, or something like that. It would be nice to see a support with some stuns going on. And Rubik is actually all the way through. I think Rubik is definitely the right choice here. Stealing Shikuchi is fun. Stealing Fiend's Grip is great. And yeah, overall, I think he'd be a pretty solid pickup here. Or at least in the next two as Gameware support. Idol have been running Rubik pretty much all day as well, so it's a bit of a ban within a pick as well. And I guess because, as anyone can read, Rubik is my favorite hero, and that's probably why he immediately comes to mind. But I think there's a fairly reasonable case for Gameware to take it right now. But they're going to go for Rasta. Okay, so just wanting that extra bit of disable. If you thought Bane was a huge disabler, then Shadow Shaman can definitely rival him, especially if you can get those reliable ward traps down. Which is possible to do. Well-practiced players can hit those ward traps more than half of the time. So we shall see how capable Gameware's Shadow Shaman is looking. And Crystal Maiden going to be the choice for InsidiousIdol. Nice to see with the Bane. He has huge mana requirements. And CM with even just 1 point in aura does help to deal with those a little bit. And also Bane, he's fast. He's got setup. CM is slow, but has a lot of lockdown. And Gameware are going to round things off with an anti-mage. So, potentially going aggressive here and leaving the anti-mage to solo the safe lane at top. Or the lifestealer to solo the safe lane at top. Or the Queen of Pain to solo the off lane. And then some weird duo lanes and anti-mage mid and blink it and slam an anti-mage. But I don't know if that's going to be happening. So, Insidious. Okay, here's the one trap that they need to not fall into. They need to not fall into the trap of saying, we can't kill anti-mage. He's going to blink away. Like, how can we kill him? It's not worth trying. You got to try. You have to try. You have to try and grip him. You have to try and lock him down. You have to try and murder him. Because if you let anti-mage get out of hand, then anti-mage gets out of hand, and everybody knows what happens when anti-mage gets out of hand. So, Gameware right now, they have a little bit of a slower lineup. They have a Naix, and they have an anti-mage. Naix scales well throughout the game, but he still is quite weak in the mid-game if he does not get those core items. So Insidious, they have quite an early game lineup right now. Weaver is very strong in the early to mid-game these days, especially with the minor damage buff that was given to Shikuchi. There are some very squishy supports on Gameware, and there are a lot of snares and traps and TPing Nature's Prophet to help try and take advantage of that. So, okay, it's going to be Luna as their last pickup. So even more push. They're pushing into a Keeper of the Light, unfortunately, and pushing into a Shadow Shaman, and pushing against the split-pushing anti-mage, which is not going to be fun, but the Luna is a nice pickup. It gives them more of that early to mid-game power, and Luna synergy with Weaver cannot be overlooked. Geminate attack plus the Luna, well, plus the aura, puts out a ton of damage. So we won't overlook that, but getting into the game, over on the side of Gameware, we have Zoro playing the Keeper of the Light. We have Star Ruby playing the Anti-Mage. We've got Kim Nan. Again, sorry about pronunciations, guys, if they're wrong. Yan Mi is going to be on the Queen of Pain, and Super Hugh is going to be on the Lifestealer. Over on the side of InsidiousIdol, we have Z-Red playing Bane. We've got SXOCXS playing the Weaver. I'm going to call him Socks. I'm sorry if that's not your preferred pronunciation there. We have Crystal Maiden being played by Sojiro, I think is what this roughly translates to, and then there's some, it's a Bleach reference, and then there's a little bit more Bleach reference going on in the other half, but I ran it through Google Translate, that's the extent of it. So I'll probably just call him Crystal Maiden like I called him Rubik last game, or it'll be Sojiro, so he's playing the decked out CM. We've got some Snowdrop equipment, we've got a Yule Scepter. On mid, we're going to have Insidious playing this mid Luna again. And something that InsidiousIdol have fallen back on, and it's really, really nice. I love this mid Luna. It's been working out fantastically. It's another way to sneak in another core hero, and very, very similar to the TA, I suppose, in that regard. And soloing bot last, but definitely not least, is Monkey, who's going to be on the Nature's Prophet. We've got some level 1 engagements going on so far through the Nightmare up on Yanmi, but they don't actually have enough lockdown to do anything too much about him, and Sox is now in trouble. Is the Illuminate going to clip him? It will. That's going to be our first blood. Yanmi walks away, but he's got a salve ready to go, and Star Ruby is still chasing. He wants the ever so slow Crystal Maiden, but a nice Nightmare from Z-Red. Is going to eat the last of his mana, but manages to get CM to safety. So, a pretty good start for Gameware, and very reminiscent of the start that we had to the last game, where Insidious go aggressive, but they just don't go aggressive with everybody. And Gameware ready there for the punish. So, II are going to get into farming positions up on top, but it's going to be a little bit for everybody to make it back. Crystal Maiden wandering back to base with her very ponderous 280 move speed. And at bot, Nature's Prophet, this is not a lane that he wants to be tri-laning against. No survivability, not a whole lot that he can do. Dodges the Illuminate. Nice little play from him there, but I mean, he's going to get murdered at this bottom lane. He's going to have to just sit at the back of Experience Red, try and keep things underneath his tower as best he can, and harass the support so that Rasta can't come in and dive him. But yeah, for now, it's going to be tough, and maintaining control of lane equilibrium is going to be absolutely crucial if Monkey is going to have an okay time down here. Up on top, Star Ruby just trading some blows with Z-Red, but Crystal Maiden is actually making his way down towards bot. And that sounds weird. Let's call him Soju. I'm sorry about the pronunciation if that's not quite right, guys. But he's going to go for a pull, and now it's just duo lanes being run for Insidious. And Weaver, a hero that can threaten Anti-Mage, throw out a lot of damage. The Geminate attack already going to work. And Star will be forced to blink himself away, pop off that salve. Still fairly low on regen for now. Monkey's going to drop on bot. The dive comes in, throws himself into a Sprout, hoping to block the vision, but somehow the right clicks proceed through. And Gamer managed to pick up that kill, second kill for them of the game. A little bit slow on picking that one up, guys. Sorry about that. So Zoro still just being a pain off to the side, as Keeper of the Light is wont to do. And so far, so good for Gameware in this game. Unfortunately, tri-lane sort of beats duo lane, and duo lane is beating solo lane, but this is three heroes doing well, and oh, that is a nuked CM. Crystal Maiden, you gotta sort of think about where you're going to be in 5 seconds, because you need to make decisions about turning around very, very quickly, and not so much where you're going to be, but where everybody else can be in 5 seconds, because yeah, there's no escape from the 315 move speed Keeper of the Light and a boots Rasta. It's just too fast, doing too much. He might not have had those boots necessarily for that kill, but nice little kill picked up all the same. And Insidious C reconsiders his placement of the bottle there, going to drop it back a little bit further behind the tower to get that bottle curve running. So 3 kills, the lead on the board so far for Gameware, and looking pretty good as far as experience in gold is concerned overall. And Insidious just like, it's just so hard for them to adjust at this point. Bane can come bot, but then Weaver is soloing against AM, which is not terrible for Weaver, but they're prioritizing a bit more farm on. They're prioritizing a little bit more farm on the Weaver. Zoro is very, very speedy. There is a Sprout, however, for Monkey, but Crystal Maiden running himself away from Kim, so it looks like Zoro is going to be absolutely fine. They might have been able to trade a kill for a kill there, but again, Crystal Maiden, 280 move speed. It's just really, really difficult. And Star Ruby, he's actually blinked himself into the tree. She's trying to reach it up, but they tango through and they find him. Oh, a nice, nice kill picked up by II. And when you've got as many tangos as Weaver has, the trees are no safe haven. So Anti-Mage does bite the dust. He's only level 3, so he's going to respawn in just a second and now make his way back up towards top lane. But a very important kill picked up by Insidious. And a lot of pressure on Sox to be able to get things done in this game. Crystal Maiden, you are in trouble if ever I've seen it. Nice 3-man Nova. And Kim dropping pretty low, but it's not going to be enough to even remotely kill him. And that's another kill on board for Gameware. Again, Crystal Maiden just slow is the point that we're going here. Hey, Van Height, how's it going? Nice to see you. Again, I'm behind 2 minutes of delay, so I didn't see that message for a little bit, and yeah, now I'm only just responding. So nice to see you, Van Height's in stream chat. Shoutouts to him. another long-time watcher of my stream, and I haven't been around much, but it's always nice to see you pop in. So, back to the game. Gameware, again, still up 3 kills. Anti-Mage not doing amazingly in terms of farm, only 6 last hits picked up on Star Ruby at the moment. But he is dealing with a Weaver who's putting out quite a lot of physical damage at a very early stage of the game. And a Bane whose brain set damage just does not care about his magic resist. So he's actually a lot squishier than Anti-Mage would normally appear. But for now, yeah, right up. Let's see you, Ryan. Enjoy your power nap. So, Insidious, game plan for them, Weaver's got to do stuff. I mean, I was just touching on it earlier, but there is a lot of weight on Sox' shoulders to get things done in this game. Bottom lane is suffering for want of Bane, but Bane is staying up top to continue to pressure Anti-Mage and continue to free up farming space for Sox. Meanwhile, on mid, Insidious is doing a really good job of trading farm against Yanmi, and he's going to be able to potentially go down and help break up this tri-lane situation at bot, though not as well as someone like a Puck or a Queen of Pain could do it. There's still the potential there with some Eclipse harassment and whatnot going on, and now TP support coming in. Kim finds herself all the way under the tower. In comes Z-Red. Kim almost dead. One right click from the tree line, gonna finish him off 1 for 1 so far. The Sprout goes down, but the Sprout goes down on the wrong unit. It was an attempted ground Sprout since it was a Rage up on Super. But that's a little bit unfortunate there for Monkey, and Nake's going to be able to get himself out, and now Yanmi, level 7, damage ready to go. There's an Illusion Rune waiting for him as well, and Weaver now running down. But that's going to be it. But as Weaver TP's out, Star Ruby breathes a sigh of relief and gets to farming up on top, almost as his Tranquil Boots finished up. And Dox comes in on mid, they get the stun. Yanmi, not really in trouble, he does have Blink, going to pop the Illusion. And did he just drop a branch in the... That looked a bit strange. Monkey's gonna try and sprout himself, but he gets hexed. Now he gets shackled, and I think he is dead. The Illuminate channeled, ready to go, and the Ether Shock just to finish him off there. So 4 kills the lead for Gameware, 1k experience and 1k gold, and Sox now up on top. Earn up on Weaver of all things. And let's hold that thought. I'm looking at stream chat where argument is happening about whether or not Toby is casting in the show match, and Yanmi gets roasted down on mid. Prophet ultimate bounces, and a whole lot of hate going through there. So Toby is under the caster tab, but that's because his stream is going to be up because they're going to have the stream plus Skype chat, as far as my understanding goes. Ryan is associated with JD, so he can probably give better clarification than I can. But a nice kill picked up by InsidiousIdol on mid, and they're going to try and get some pressure down on the tower. I don't hate Crystal Maiden. I think Crystal Maiden is a great hero, but I think, unfortunately, that Sojiro is not having a great game at the moment on Crystal Maiden, just by virtue of being so slow. And Rubik was in the pool. I mean, come on. He's been playing Rubik all day. Maybe just trying to mix it up a little bit for this last game. And again, I liked the CM pickup in the context of the draft. Illuminate comes in, but there's still some treants, and there's still an actual creep here. There's no backdoor protection on tier 1s either, so I'm not sure what I'm going on about there. Gameware down towards bot. They're going to be able to claim a tier 1 of their own. Super wants the last hit. He gets the last hit. And the tier 1 on mid under threat. There's no fortification. The deny from Keeper of the Light. Nicely played. Sonic Wave is going to pop the Luna immediately. And Crystal Maiden, if you thought she was slow before, check it out now. She is going to drop. Gets nightmared up. Z-Red now completely out of mana. Sox still chasing back in, but it's in the middle of 4. Needs to be careful. And he's going to back out. Oh, that was just painful for InsidiousIdol. Keeper of the Light, with his 60 damage, gets himself a deny, and then 2 kills right after the 1-2 punch, or the 1-2-3 punch in this case. Meanwhile, Star Ruby, he is just uncaring up at top, and he is starting to add a little bit, well, add to that tally. The aggression from II just going punished again, really the core story from this game. And in comes Snakes. He's got an Infest for bonus damage as well. Prophet's just going to TP himself straight out, however, and we'll be fine. A little bit of patience on the part of the Nakes might have gotten Shadow Shaman in range, but there are these treants just moving around through the jungle, keeping things scouted out. So nicely played there by Monkey. And he's just working his way straight towards a mech right now. So wanting that push, wanting that team fight. And the mech going to be very important for pushing into the base against the Keeper of the Light. I mean, let alone getting themselves into a position to start winning the game and start pushing. The mech is going to be really important for once they get into that situation themselves. Yeah, show match is in 2 hours and 30 minutes. I'm not 100% sure if I'm going to be casting. I listed myself as a caster, but the way that I'm feeling right now, I'm not 100% sure if that's gonna go through. Anyway, back to the game. Again, sorry guys, I'm a little bit tired. I'm getting a bit distracted. It's not great, but we're gonna soldier on and we're gonna keep going. So it's a 5 kill lead for Gameware. 3k gold, 3k experience. Both of them tracking very closely to one another. Monkey just ducking his head into the jungle. They are gradually losing a little bit of map presence, and this tier 1 tower on bot is just so valuable for the Radiant. It's effectively, you know, 3/5 of their jungle. Just completely gone by losing that. And boy, do Gameware know it. They're taking full advantage of this and tracking down some wards at the moment. Meanwhile, Gameware doing exactly what InsidiousIdol have done previously with aggression, but instead of using aggression, they're just using punishing. They're just punishing aggression. And by doing what they were doing earlier, I mean pushing in really aggressively into the jungle, getting wards down, keeping tabs, preventing farm, and then also ruthlessly defending their own towers to the point where II are being locked out of the game on a whole bunch of different angles. And again, I just feel like the problem for Insidious is that they are treating the game in a very blunt, in a very blunt way. Sort of as a, you know, brute forcing a lot of things, and they're sort of getting punished for it is part of the problem at the moment. So Z-Red, Magic Wand finished up on him. Fiend's Grip now available just barely, only 3 experience over 6. And this is a tool that they need to be getting a kill off pretty much every single time, or the Bane pickup is a little bit weird. Zoro just waiting around for an Illuminate up on top, and the Weaver just gonna have to run himself away. Didn't talk about this urn on Weaver. It's a ganking item. I think I like it because, okay, here's the thing. It's weird. It's non-standard. It's not an item that you normally see on Weaver because it's not an item that really helps him do stuff late game, or even helps him right-click in the mid-game. But the core concept behind urn is that you want it on a hero who's going to be in every single kill. You want it on your support, you want it on, or you want it on your Nature's Prophet, or you want it on someone who's just ruthlessly. Oh, the ward trap, Monkey D. Oh, that is really like nice nightmare. Zero's gonna throw out a Fiend's Grip as well, but the wards just do not care about the nightmare. And there's the grip. Sonic Wave threatened. Nice cancel. Zero's still alive, but out pops the Nakes. A bit of a Jack-in-the-Box action there, and now Crystal Maiden actually able to escape here. Sock stands his ground, but there's still double damage up on Yanmi. Needs to be careful here about revealing himself. And Yanmi can turn around. There's an open wounds. There's a time lapse. Still the chase. In comes the Eclipse. Insidious C here with the dunk. And Yanmi gonna have to jump himself away. Meanwhile, up on top, Star Ruby putting some pressure on the tower. Insidious C comes in along with Monkey. Monkey with the mech finished up as well. So making progress, but again they are still behind by 6 kills and about 5k experience and about 5k gold as well. So Insidious C, the pings go out on this tower, but I think there is a man who hates pushes, and he is sitting right underneath this tower, and he is ready to go. He gets a blinding, well, gets his ultimate off, Spirit Form ready to go. Illuminate wipes out. Illuminate sort of laying waste a little bit, but now TP support firmly required, but in comes the punish. Again, the TP's in. There's the mech, but Monkey gets nightmared up. Nice dodge. No, still gets clipped somehow by the Illuminate. Is gonna go down. I thought the invulnerability was gonna be enough to keep him up there, at least through the Illuminate, but not enough. And Gameware again, just InsidiousIdol go for a really telegraphed maneuver on top. They bring everybody up, they push in, they walk past this Observer Ward, and then Gameware are like, well, you're here where we want you, let's murder you. And they do, and that's just really good awareness by Gameware, predicting where InsidiousIdol are going to be applying pressure, and no! Oh, Sox, be careful. There's a Fiend's Grip, however, up on Star Ruby. Can they burst him down? Yes, they can, and now Super going to be forced to infest to try and escape from this. Zoro down on half HP. The TP in was fairly close, but they do manage to pick up a double kill. Oh, the wards pop out. Weaver, however, time-lapse is back, still alive, comes in. Super goes down 4-0. InsidiousIdol get some action happening of their own and get some free ward farm, and they're going to be able to pick up this tower as well at top. So, nicely played by them. And not so much Gameware overstepping their bounds, but InsidiousIdol, I mean, the standard trade is, okay, we just killed 3 of your heroes, give us your tower. And InsidiousIdol say, well, no, our heroes are respawned, we still have all of our ultimates up, we're gonna kill you. And so nice awareness from them about their overall strength in the game, and fighting their way back in before what looked like a really big kill difference is now down to 3, and we are bouncing back in terms of golden experience, cutting that deficit in half, 2.5k, both in favor of Gameware at the moment. Sox now with a drum picked up, so just these very cheap, effective items going his way. And I'm finally going to finish that thought about the Weaver urn, despite the fact that Sox is currently dying. He has a time lapse, though. He's going to jump, and he's going to just Shikuchi. He's going to be fine. So, hey, Epia. So Weaver's fine. I love the urn. It's an item that you want to have in every single kill because it does a ton of damage early game. It's great for heals, it's great for continuing to push. It's great for pushing into a Keeper of the Light as well, because you just want to keep people topped off as best you possibly can. And look no further than Urn, and I think it's great because I touched on the fact that, okay, Sox has a here. He was Weaver, and InsidiousIdol made the decision to prioritize farm on this Weaver. And Weaver says, okay, I need to put the team on my shoulders. I need to get things done, I need to kill people, I need to be effective, I need to harass, I need to stop people farming, I need to be in every fight. And what has Sox done? He bought himself an urn, and he did exactly that. It's unorthodox, but I wholly support the item build in this game. And, I mean, it's really paying dividends, and he doesn't even need the damage that much, he just needs survivability, because Lunar Blessing is pumping his damage through the roof with Geminate Attack. And now he's back behind the tower, going to work, throwing out the bugs. Super and Zoro backing off just a little bit. Star Ruby is going to be able to trade at least, well, maybe a trade. It might just be a free tier 1 on top. Manages to get his hands on that one. Working his way towards his Battle Fury right now. Still a little ways away from that. Again, due to the pressure applied by this Bane early and the farm that they prioritized onto the Weaver. But AM is swiftly catching his way back up, and Gameware doing a good job of fighting with 4 when they need to, and then bringing 5 only when it is absolutely necessary, and relying on the Keeper of Light to just continue stalling these pushes out. And that's part of the problem for InsidiousIdol a little bit here. Nature's Prophet and Weaver, while good at while they are good at jumping behind towers and picking up kills, it's sort of more this style that needs to be what they're going for. And I made the decision not to take the DD in case there was a ward here. Gameware have actually gone for a smoke of their own. They throw it a grip on Yanmi. He's going to go down, and now heroes, they're walking in mid. Gameware needs to reconsider this decision, I think. There's 4 mid, there's a buyback from Crop. They actually want to go. Can they kill off Sox? Will his greed be his undoing? They're ready to go, but Rasta needs to get in range. They don't have any anti-invis either. I think it needs to be straight lockdown. No, they've got 1 sentry. But the coordination a little bit too difficult there, so Sock is going to be able to get his way out. But a little bit of an unfortunate smoke for Gameware, just a little bit too slow there. Who got the double damage in the end? I have no idea. It's still there. Okay, so both teams see the double damage. They both decide we're smoked. We can't take the DD. It'll be too suspicious. And DD lives to hover another day. So congratulations, double damage urn. Down Mi's coming down right this second to... Oh, nope. Okay, he's not going for it. I'm really interested to see what the fate of this DD rune is. It's a bit irrelevant, but, you know. I'm curious. Is Sox going to find it? Apparently not. Zoro working his way towards a mech. Again, sneaky Keeper of the Light. Turning thin air into gold. Get some farm out in the jungle. And almost has that mech finished up. So pretty much the only 4 position, or one of the very few 4 positions in the game that can reliably build your team a mech. And having that mech is also important. As you can see, Insidious have actually prioritized that up to their 3 position. in this game. We're going to have a very quick pause as one of the TGPL casters actually disconnects. I think both teams thought it was a player from the opposite team, so manners pauses there. Yeah, just manners pauses. So nicely done by both teams. Starruby is just chilling out in the trees. He doesn't want to die so close to having his B Fury up. And Bane, there is a constant threat of this Fiend's Grip. What am I looking at? Because Sox is dominating at bot, and he is going to pick up himself a double kill, trying to run himself out right now as well. Heals coming up. We're going to actually just TP straight out. Queen of Pain will be able to finish off Crystal Maiden, but that double damage, that was what happened to it. It got picked up by Weaver, and then Weaver went ham and got a double kill at bot on those two supports. And okay, so the reason that he has a mech recipe and it's not actually completed is because he's dead and he dragged it into his inventory. But mech's finished on Keeper of Light. I thought that might have been stalled a bit by that death, but managed to chop it up before he dropped. And this is why, exactly why Starruby is playing so cautiously, because Z-Red, despite not having that many items at the moment, is just smoked, and he is ready to go with Grip. And Grips are kills, and I think Idol showing fantastically that they know that Grips are kills and that they are using it very, very effectively. Well, at least as effectively as they can hope for. Zero just camping out on top right now. So they do have Gameware on the back foot. Despite the great start that Gameware got off to, the game is very quickly very quickly equalized. So what do we got going on? 2.5k's experience lead, about 5k the gold lead, both in favor of the Dire. So they are getting quite a bit of farming done. And Super up to another 1.8k gold on top of his really core items right now. And Weaver picks himself up a Ghost Scepter. So Sox just trying to be a pest as much as he possibly can, and I guess continues the unorthodox item build. They're going to jump Starruby on top, Fiend's Grip, Eclipse. This is what Z-Red was waiting for oh so patiently for oh so long. And it comes to fruition. Meanwhile, at bot, Monkey's going to go down, sprouted in with a very angry Nakes. Not a situation that you want to be in. Nice. No! Attempted TP out. Blinding Light would not have actually canceled that. And Kim needed to get in range to be able to get that Hex off. And I think a matter of just about 0.2 seconds there. Hesitation has no place in a game of Dota. And InsidiousC with the BKB finished up. It is fully charged, ready to go. And Insidious on this Luna really doing work at the moment. But fairly low, so he's going to back himself out. 15-1 charges and a bottle, going to be fine to top himself off, however. Wards are going to drop on bot. Gameware looking for just looking for this tower. Looks like it might just be a trade. Fortification going to pop on both sides. TPs heading towards mid, but Gameware looks like they want to commit, and Starruby this one back by himself. However, the X factor is that InsidiousIdol do have InsidiousC up on top, applying some pressure there. So tier 2 on bot's going to go down. TP's heading back. Monkey, walks in, gets silenced, but actually managing to juke for a second. Gets unsilenced, manages to sprout, and manages to TP to the relative safety of his base, or the extreme safety of his base. So nice little fancy footwork. Well, not really that fancy, but manages to just book it out of there, and well done. Super's going to be able to deny the tower on bot with a tier 2 taken on top all the same, so the overall exchange is a tier 2 for a tier 2 and a deny on bot. Not that bad by any stretch of the imagination. And Starruby still just sitting on top of this random ring of regen that he had for his tranquil, what was going to be his tranquil boots, but didn't end up being his tranquil boots. So that's probably just going to be a Vlad's at some later stage of the game, but for now, I think probably just continues to work on damage, continues to work on fighting items, just a little bit. And really wants to get to that heart, I would expect, just so that that grip is not an instant kill so much. Z-Red in a bit of trouble. He actually has a Ghost Scepter. He's gonna Nightmare himself just to try and buy some space, but Starruby's coming in. Gonna pop the Ghost, Mana Void, nukes. There's the Sting. Gonna try and deny himself to Roshan. Cutesy plays. Not sure if he had to Nightmare himself. Could have just ghosted, wait until the rage wore off, Nightmared the Nakes. Kim in a little bit of trouble, as is Zora. And Weaver is still going to show that despite not really having any true damage items, just the amalgamation of plus stats that he has from just assortment is enough to actually put out some significant right-click damage. And especially, again, Lunar Blessing on top. And I mean, Nangmi, he's scared of the Weaver. It doesn't necessarily make that much sense given that he has an Orchid, and that is a recipe for dead Weaver, but yeah, like, Weaver now reconsidering. I think saw a sentry go down there. Super now with a Basher finished up as well, and Gameware just out farming at the moment. It's not a significant goal difference, but it is still a swing. And Monkey working his way towards an Orchid. That is going to be a big help. But again, coming a little bit later, and Gameware like the decision. Keeper of Light generates a lot of extra gold for your team, and a lot of the gold, a lot of the gold discrepancy between the two teams right now is in the hands of the supports. It's about a 2k lead, I mean, from Zoro ahead of Crystal Maiden or Bane, which is making a big difference right now. And that's this gem, and that's the majority of the mech. And the gem is a really big deal as far as map control is concerned, because there's a blinking Quap with a Naix inside of it. Ghost Scepter pops, but nukes are not his friend when he's ghosted. So he's gonna drop. And Gameware pick up a kill on the oh-so pesky Weaver, who is doing oh so much work. They smoke up towards top, but not gonna be able to find Star Ruby. He's saying, I'm hiding on the edge of the map. Screw you guys. You can go fiend script somebody else, because I'm not having any of that tentacly nightmare action. So, jokes aside, what do InsidiousIdol do to recover back into this game? They're at a 4-kill deficit. They've got a lot of right-click damage, but they are slowly just losing ground. And if Roshan goes the way of Gameware right now, which it more or less should, and this is going to spell trouble. InsidiousSidol are going to push up on top, but these supports aren't really needed that much. They're just backing up Insidious C, but he's going to back off well before he hits the tower. So there's not really too much point in them being here, but that's a very, very minor point in the grand scheme of things. So Roshan's going to go down at 2630. Guess I'll just keep that in the back of my mind. Keeping it to the second is kind of important from time to time. So, Gameware, they've got the Aegis. They're in a really good spot. There's 3 heroes smoked up on top, but they're going to try and kill Star Ruby. But they're actually just going to get murdered. I think, no, can they kill off Star Ruby in time? They get the silence up. Is he going to drop? Almost. Almost. He will. Insidious C now popping the BKB. Out pops 4. He's going to try and just TP himself out. Where's the bash? Super gets unlucky. Z-Red's going to drop. Is there going to be a bash this time? All of that stored up pseudo-random luck. Pseudo-random number generation is finally unleashed on Monkey. So he gets the short end of that stick. And Insidious C manages to survive the fight another day. Actually, it looks like he's working his way towards a Satanic or a Heart right now. A very, very tanky Luna indeed. And Gameware, I mean, they've got the Aegis, and this Aegis should at least afford them these remaining tier 2 towers for InsidiousIdol. So it comes down to a question of defensive teamfights. And I don't really have a lineup that benefits that much from being on D. I mean, Bane does get the advantage of having people walking into him for him to throw disables at and keep everybody in a line and you know, do all of that shenanigans, but they don't have any big ultimates that are made a lot easier by you being the one engaging instead of being engaged into. So Queen of Pain actually goes down on mid. Nature Prophet comes in with the silence. Meanwhile, as I was talking, we saw Bane dying right underneath the tier 2 at the top. So that's sort of 1-for-1 overall, and looks like Stock's going to be able to get this tower down as well. So it's a kill on a tower for a kill on a tower. And Crystal Maiden comes in to get a little bit of farm down at bot. And Insidious C gets the tier 2 on bottom lane. Wow. I mean, that's an absurd trade for Insidious. Frankly, I mean, they don't have the Aegis. They are not in the advantageous spot. They are not in the driving seat of this game. But it looks like they are. They're down by 7.5k gold. They're down by 7.5k experience. They're down by 5 kills. They don't have an Aegis in hand, but they just say, well, we're going to go for it. You guys are pushing top. You kill one, we're going to kill one, and we're going to take 2 towers. And again, Insidious C being sort of the deciding factor in this. If he had been mid, then it would have just been a tower and a kill for a tower and a kill. But realizing or somehow predicting or something like that, maybe I'm talking this up a little bit too much, but he goes bot and he gets a second tower out of the trade and puts the net exchange on top for that last couple of minutes. for II. So yeah, nicely done by them. So Gameware, they need to recoup. They need to get something out of this Aegis. They still have a long time left of it. They still have 3 minutes to go and take this tier 2. Their minimum objective should be either take a good team fight with the Aegis, or take a tower with the Aegis. Take a building. Use the strength of the Aegis to force something down. I think the problem is, however, for them, is that, talking about it, Insidious don't care about the Aegis. They just showed with that push on mid, guys, we know you have the Aegis. Look how much we care. And, I mean, they've been punished for that mentality a couple of times in this game, and definitely in game 2, but I think you have to admire a team that just does it. Because, I mean, and it's not even a sense of, like, they don't care. I'm sure that these things are going through their mind, and this is a calculated decision, but at the same time, it's just, it's nuts. And to Vanheit, who cappa'd, and by cappa'd, I mean typed kappa next to E-Blade Weaver in Twitch chat, you are not wrong, my friend, because Weaver has himself an Ethereal Blade, and that is the most damaging Shikuchi I think you've probably ever seen. The bigger thing is that he can ghost other people, and he can effectively ghost Nakes out of the fight forever. We've got a smoke on smoke, there's an infested Nakes, and I mean, he's got a BKB and an Orchid, he doesn't care. He's not going to blink. And they haven't actually been revealed just yet, and looks like II are actually going to get the advantage in terms of being revealed in this fight. They take the high ground. How much of this is going to matter? We're about to find out. As Super and Yami come in from the rear. They manage to burst out the Bane before he can do anything. Crystal Maiden hits the mat as well. Demonstration dropped by the Keeper of the Light as he goes down. Supports hitting the mat everywhere. Now the buyback from COD a little bit too rich. Insidious C now with the haste. Eclipse has already been used. Satanic ready to go, but down goes Socks. He pops like a grape, and Insidious C says, I'm going to use the rest of this haste to book it the hell out of here. Monkey, he threatens the TP top, decides better of it. Not going to be able to get too much done there, and just going to now farm out bot and apply some pressure. So, overall, again, a very risky maneuver for InsidiousIdol. This time doesn't really work out as they actually get pincered. It looked like having that high ground could have been the initiation that they really needed for that fight, but Bane didn't see a target that he liked on the low ground. That was because everybody that mattered blinked past with a Nake's bomb, and they just slammed them between an Illuminate and a hard place. So, nicely played there by Gameware, and I guess a little bit of luck as well, combined with Insidious just being balls to the wall aggressive at every single moment in this game. Talking about this Ethereal Blade on Weaver, why is the Ethereal Blade interesting? Because he doesn't really have that many nukes himself, and Nature's Prophet's going to get himself out of there. There was a Quap who is infested with a Nake with a double damage rune and an Orchid and a BKB hunting for him, and he somehow manages to escape. So if that's a tribute to skill or a tribute to insanity that he was even anywhere close to that situation, I'm not sure, but Monkey manages to get out with his life this time around. He has died quite a lot in this game, however. But we've seen some sneaky escapes. We saw a sneaky escape over here. We saw a sneaky escape at bot. And his death tally could definitely be quite a bit higher. So, Insidious, they are still hunting. They've still got this grip up, and they want blood. Meanwhile, we don't have the Aegis anymore. That might have been used. Yeah, it must have been. No, it wasn't used. If it wasn't used, then it's despawned anyway. The Roshan timer is still really buggy. I'm surprised this hasn't been fixed. It might be a base skip specific issue that the Roshan timer doesn't line up properly, but anyway. So bringing up the experience and gold, things are getting a little bit more dire. They're getting a little bit more dire for InsidiousIdol as it pushes out to a 12k experience lead and about a 10k gold swing in favor of Gameware. And what else have we got going on? I'm going to bring up the item panel so we can have a quick check on what's happening. We have a Blink Dagger up on Rasta, a very dangerous pickup indeed, an Abyssal Blade on the Anti-Mage. We've got the Manta Style finished up on AM, and he's got another 2.5k gold in the bank, for anybody wondering about that. We've got the Ethereal Blade on Socks, the most interesting Weaver build I think you will ever see, and the next big pickup for InsidiousIdol is the Hex, which is coming along nicely, I want to say. on Monkey. They're still a ways away from that one. It's going to be another couple of minutes till he gets that one online. Though the Prophet Ultimate will help him chew out that farm. And last but not least, Insidious, since he has so much raw, he has so many raw stats on his hero right now. Hardly any plus damage aside from what's on the BKB. Looks like he's going to be working his way towards Amanda style Yasha already picked up. And I think M3 that Ryan has gone to take a power nap before the show match, so I don't think he's here at the moment. If you have a question, I can do my best to answer it, but obviously I'm going to be keeping the majority of my eyes on the match at hand. So InsidiousIdol, they're looking to force it, and I mean, when are they not looking to force it, frankly? I mean, they're either being punished for trying to force it too hard, or things are working out fantastically because they push just right. However, the anti-mage split push is now here, and Starby still has a Quelling Blade, of all things, to have at this stage of the game. Good awareness from him, just because of the Orchid up on the Fury, and makes it that it's not a reliable stun just to sprout and silence him. Yami infested. It's not a double damage this time. It is, however, a regen, and it's still a very similar situation. And now they see him. Z-Red gonna go out. He'll throw out the grip. Gets healed up a little bit. Still dropping low. Can still pop those stick charges, but goes down to the BKB. Yami super stuck in the middle of the sprout. It's gonna be 1 for 1, and actually a better kill picked up by II. And can they find more? Anti-Mage working his way towards that heart right now, but InsidiousIdol, they're going to force out a buyback. And are they going to head themselves out? Zoro ready to defend. And, I mean, Insidious didn't even force that one that hard. They just said, okay, here's 3 heroes mid. Do you have a buyback? And Gameware said, yes, we do have a buyback. And I make the right decision, but make the right decision to back out. But the interesting thing is that that situation even occurred. I mean, there's a Keeper of the Light on Gameware, of all heroes. Roshan had just... Okay. Hold the thought. Throw out everything I just said, because the reason for the buyback was Roshan had respawned. It seemed a little bit unforced, and I guess I'm just, thinking a little bit too much about how aggressive InsidiousIdol has been. But Gameware, they buy back so they can get Rosh, effectively, is the end of the story here. It's going to be just an Aegis. It's only the second Roshan of the game, so they've now got that up on the Nakes. The buyback more or less irrelevant now, and sort of paying for itself in the bonus that they got from getting that Rosh. So yeah, let's completely throw out the thought about why that buyback was so early, because they had a Coddle to defend and all that, and we'll chalk that one up to to base kit being pretty tired, since I am quite tired, and we'll accept the actual analysis, which is they really wanted Rosh. Like 100%, they didn't want to give that one away, so they'll throw a buyback gladly to get that one. So right now it's a 6-kill lead in favor of Gameware, and InsidiousIdol just do not care about Aegis. They're showing how little they care about Aegis. At this very second, they have 3 heroes smoked. They have 3 heroes smoked. Sox could die instantly here if he gets hexed. Where's the gem? It's on me. They throw down a sentry, but it's a little bit too late. Who actually had that sentry? It looks like it might have just been Kim. Yeah, it was the case. Just a little bit slow on the draw there. But would have been difficult anyway. Nakes has nothing but blinking targets to infest into. Now they're chasing out. This time it's them on the aggressive, and I think they can just take their force of effectively 6 heroes with a second Nakes. And just try and push down mid. Monkey is going to have a quick pause, maybe another lag issue or something along those lines. And he has finally finished his Hex, which is good news for him. Because that's going to help him a little bit against that blinking Quap Nakes bomb. Though there is a BKB up on the Quap and there is a Rage on the Nakes. So he needs to have some of the fastest fingers that I think you can have. Again, there is a small ping advantage, as you can see, in favor of Insidious. And that's worth keeping in mind in this situation. I mean, all of Gameware are playing at a minimum of 150 all the way up to 260 ping, which is a pretty significant number. Meanwhile, all of InsidiousIdol are playing down between 50 and 80 ping. So keep that in mind as the series is played out, I guess, is the overall point there. And it looks like Monkey just needs a very quick reconnect. He actually was the one pausing so I feel like Insidious should have given a reason in chat, but that's just, I mean, at this point it's quite late. This is the last game of the set, and I think everybody is just all on the edge of their seats. Again, this is a very significant game. The winner of this one is going to advance to the main event to face it off against the invited teams for a chance at their slice of the $5,000 pie that is the prize pool for this event. And it's $5,000 cash, I believe, as well. So just gonna be waiting around for a second. And Insidious, do you have your Manta Style? Yes, he does. And Crystal Maiden, are you transparent? Yes, you are, because you have the very last second of a Smoke of Deceit on you. That's so strange. Ghost CM. Anyway, I guess the particle effects aren't shown during pauses, so CM is transparent because of the smoke, but because you can't see all the smoke attachments, it looks kind of weird. Is sort of the explanation there. And that's why Wisp is completely invisible. Wisp doesn't show up when you pause because particle effects aren't rendered during the pause. And Wisp is all particles. He has no model. For anyone interested. Random point of information, I guess. So Star Ruby just wants to finish up this heart not too far away. And again, the main game plan right now is use the Aegis to get the tower and then use the Aegis to get the racks. It's just... it's a bit one-to-one right now, but it all comes down to positioning and it all comes down to pickoffs. There is a lot of health on Gameware total. There's just so much health, so much damage that needs to be dealt. And Monkey, is he going to be able to even get this Hex off? It's already on cooldown. They get the grip off. He's now alive. Eclipse pops as well, but the Mana Void does cuts a swath through Insidious. And Rasta stands his ground, gem on the ground. Star Ruby going to work. Insidious C hitting as well. Still hasn't popped the Satanic just yet. Still fighting Star Ruby. Gets bashed up a little bit. Now turning his attention to Super Hugh. Pops the Satanic, but not actually getting that much lifesteal. Bashed again, trying to run away, but the Mana Leak, sorry, is going to be able to keep him in his tracks. And now an open wounds. He's going to drop. Red doesn't actually have his Ghost Scepter off cooldown. Double kill for the Negs. He is not done. And Monkey, you poor buybacking bastard. He's going to BB, get bashed. BB into bash. Into a synonym for sadness that starts with a B, and I can't think of it right now. So, unfortunate for him, and the game we're going to be getting at least one racks out of this. Surely no buybacks on the map aside from on the dire side. So fortification will pop, but it's still 40 seconds away till a significant force can be mustered, and it's all up to Socks right now. But I think that's a gem. There's definitely a gem on me. He's still got that Orchid. And there's still an Abyssal Blade, and there's still a very angry Anti-Mage, so... Orchid... There is, however, the Ethereal Blade. Helping out a little bit there, but Socks walks straight in, gets open wounds. The Abyssal Blade stun somehow connects, Force-staffed away, but the Sonic Wave is going to finish him off. There's the rack, 70 seconds until Weaver. And Gameware... Not done just yet. Anti-Mage wailing away on the buildings. Super Shoot... He is so low that I don't think he should even get close to this fight, but he's going to pop... Is that even his jump charge? No, it is Kim's jump charge. And he is going to be able to get that tower down. Oh, Lifestealer in trouble. Ghost Scepter pops. Orchid managing to cancel the grip. Nakes is still just barely alive at the back of the team fight. Yang Mi on the way out as well. Going to TP himself through. And the racks remain standing. Only a single racks at the end of the day. Still 30 seconds away from Weaver. And Aegis also used in that fight by Gameware, so a little bit less even than perhaps it looked. Well, a little bit less one-sided, sorry, than perhaps it looked in the end. So anyway, Zoro, what's he got? He's got himself a Ghost Scepter. Overall game standing, it's an 8-kill lead to Gameware. They're up 20k experience, 15k gold. By some people's metrics, that is an insurmountable lead. That is a difference in golden experience that is impossible to fight against. And there are pro players who will back that up as like a metric. Like once you break 15 or 20k in both of those, then you're in a really good spot, especially 41 minutes into the game. But Insidious are still fighting, and this could still come down to a base race. There aren't that many buybacks. I'd like to point that out right now. There's one buyback on Nyx and there's a buyback on Rasta, but everybody else is buying items. And if they die, that's it. I mean, they are dead for a very long time. Anti-Mage is level 23. He is dead for 85 seconds? 80 seconds at the very least. I'd have to... Mental math failing me a little bit right now. Zox gets silenced up, still alive, forced to have to wait. Actually burns a lot of his mana, and they jump on top of Z right. He's going to go down. The Abyssal Blade locking him out. Eclipse pops, but there's still a lot of creeps here. And Insidious, he just cannot put out the damage. Super hexed up, but still so tanky. And now Crystal Maiden throwing out the freezing field, but just not doing that much. And Insidious C not getting that much out of the Satanic. Just too many bashes. The dual bash of the Anti-Mage. And also the bash from the Nyx, who is currently dead. Bringing him down extremely easily. And Weaver, he's got no mana, but does he have style? Yes, he does. Going to try and kill off Kim. TP in threatened, but Monkey in the end going to decide better of that one. So an ultra kill picked up for Yang Mi, and I think that's going to be the clincher for this game. They can't really get anywhere to do too much, but I think the immediate push is going to be on top. There is a buyback available on Weaver. There is a buyback almost available on Insidious C, but it's not too far away from respawning, only 40 seconds. But they definitely need to throw this buyback on Sox, or it's going to be another Rax, and then potentially the final Rax of the game down at bot. And Yanmi now with a Hex picked up as well. Just a disabling machine, such an easy initiation with the Nakes as well. Buyback will be used, sort of as predicted for Weaver. I mean, there's no point in waiting around to respawn if you've already lost all of your axes. This is the fight that needs to end all fights. Hex on cooldown at least for a little bit, but Rasta, again, at this point in the game, is just such an absolute monster as far as disables, and Gameware, they don't really need to fight. They just need to kill buildings, and Sox now force-staffed away. They need to try and keep this guy alive, but Z-Red! No! Oh, those grips just not going off. The Anti-Mage too aggressive with the blinks. Crystal Maiden popped, no problem whatsoever, and InsidiousIdol forced back into their base as forced back into their fountain as Gameware have their way with their base. But Weaver, he still wants blood, but he comes straight into the Hex. Is there going to be a shackle as well? No, he gets bashed, bash, bash, bash. Oh, lordy lords. Just too much burst damage, too much lockdown on Gameware right now. And they are looking to finish this one up right this second. Star Ruby comes in, they get the Hex out, and in comes the dual bashes. Monkey D manages to get a Sprout down, but just doesn't even tickle the Anti-Mage or the Lifestealer at this point. And the Blink finds an immediate bash for Star Ruby, and the GG will finally be called. So that's going to be it. And Gameware showing that they deserve their slightly higher seeding after winning their game. Well, after winning the qualifier for their region, they're going to be advancing to the main event. And unfortunately, InsidiousIdol are going to be going home empty-handed, but some fantastic Dota played by them, and looking forward to seeing more of them in the future. Hopefully, they'll stay together as a team. Thanks, everyone. I've been Baseskip. This is Group A, and the very first day of the regional finals, the regional qualifier finals for the AMD Dota 2 Premier League. I am Baseskip. It's been a pleasure having you along for the ride. If you guys want to send me any feedback as far as my casting is concerned, I would love to hear back from you. Leave me a message in chat or send me an email at baskipdota@gmail.com. Love constructive criticism, love to hear feedback. I would love to hear from you guys. If you guys want to support me, then you can follow me here on Twitch, or anywhere that you see the name Baseskip, you can contact or support me. So that's Twitter, Facebook. There's a slew of links below the video as well, so you guys can just check those out. But yeah, very nicely played by Gameware. Congratulations to them. They're going to advance, and that's going to be it for me. I'll probably hang out and chat for a couple of minutes, put on some music, and just chill out for a bit. But yeah, Baseskip signing off.